Welcome to Capping Over Cocktails, a podcast that covers a new take on sports betting. Each week, we deliver you top analysis, picks, and news going on in the world of sports. Now, here's your host, Katie Mox.
Peyton Mansell, jailbreak blitz. He gets rid of it, and there's the pick. And here comes Virginia down the sideline. Deshaun Perry is going to end this game with a pick six.
Unbelievable ending.
That's the cover play for Virginia.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of Capping Over Cocktails. I am your host, Katie Mox, a self-described degenerate gambler in nice packaging. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Katie Mox Bets. And of course, I am here with tonight and every night my favorite cappers and the boys from TroyWins.com's Troy, Nick, how you doing and what are you drinking? Troy?
Doing great, Katie. I'm doing a Reuben's Hazy IPA. Great winter beer, a little brewery out here in Ballard, Washington, but very popular brewery. They're actually might be able to find them in one of your guys' grocery stores. Great brewery, great beer. Little special quick announcement. Katie, we are giving out the Super Bowl pick. We'll give it out live on this show, but anybody that shoots us a direct message on Instagram or Facebook, if we lose the pick, we're going to actually give you guys $50 cash for anybody listening. So
wow,
a little bit of craziness, but we're going to give you $50 cash, no gimmick, no catch. But if you reach out to us about our Super Bowl pick and we lose, we're going to give you 50 cash.
All right. Well, hey, that sounds like a
Is that coming out of my pocket or yours, Troy?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a write-off. It's a company.
That's why I'm drinking Vizzies, these cheap Vizzies here, because we don't have a lot of money in the tank because we're going to be giving away all this money. Nah, not worried about losing. So I have a Vizzy today. I'm really excited for Super Bowl week. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. I mean, this is like if Michael Jordan and LeBron James met in the finals, or Tiger and Jack were on Sunday at the Masters. I mean, this is we're not going to get this opportunity again. So this is a great week.
Absolutely. The GOAT versus the baby GOAT, the potential successor to Tom Brady. Happy Super Bowl week, everybody. I am
with
a beer. I've got myself a Corona here. So cheers, boys. And let's kick this off after we.
Happy Super Bowl week.
No doubt.
All right. So because it is Super Bowl week, we're going to start with NFL, some hot topics. Obviously, I think the biggest thing that happened, over the weekend, beginning of this week, was the huge trade between the Lions and the Rams. Matt Stafford for Jared Goff and 2 first-round and a third-round draft pick. To me, it just felt like, God, they really don't value Goff at all in LA. And look, the only place Stafford didn't want to go was to the Patriots. Like, what do you guys think about this? And, second part of that is, what does this do to Deshaun Watson's value? Nick, I'm going to kick it to you first. Good trade. Who won?
Yeah, listen, I'm from Detroit, so I've been following Matt Stafford for a long time, and I think he's got a great talent, but at the same time, he's had 4 winning seasons. So, in 12 years, this is his chance now. He's going to a team that's got a great defense. He's got a ton of weapons. He's got, good receivers. This is his chance to really, prove the doubters that say, yeah, geez, he's just an average quarterback. I, for one, think he's a great quarterback. I think it's a great fit in LA. I think it's a great trade for the Lions. They have to rebuild. I think they're going to probably have to find someone to probably take Goff too. That's a big contract to take on, and that's why LA had to give up so many picks, is because they had to take on that contract, which really isn't all that great. So, I'm happy for Matt. I understand the whole reason about not wanting to go to New England. him and Patricia didn't get along that great. That system, without Tom, I don't think it really works. I think, that job isn't as sexy as people think as it was when Tom was there. So, I'm happy for Matt. I wish him the best, and I'd like to see him, be on a winning team.
Yeah, Troy, in the pre-show, you were talking about how you think Goff is maybe a little bit underrated and how he's been to a Super Bowl before. So how do you feel about this trade, and how do you feel about, how the Rams kind of did him a little dirty there with a lot of picks?
Yeah, to me, it's crazy. I don't think anybody's worth 2 first-round picks. I just don't. Seattle, we saw what they did with Jamal Adams, giving up the farm for him, and he really didn't make that defense that much better. Obviously, the quarterback position, the most important. It baffles me. Matthew Stafford, 0 playoff wins. Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl. I get a lot of it's the system, But Jared Goff executed that system. I mean, even this year, that was a good football team. Yes, he had the thumb injury. If he didn't have the thumb injury, who knows where they would have finished. I just think giving up the farm for a guy like Stafford, who, again, I think Stafford's amazing. He's got a great arm. Maybe he makes some more big plays throughout the course of the year. You give him the good receiving core, as Nick said. The sky is the limit, and the Rams are in win now mode. They got a great defense. This could put them over the hump. Sean McVay, great quote. It's not who won the trade. It's about winning the Super Bowl, right? And so it's interesting. I think time will tell with this one, but giving up 2 first-round picks and a quarterback and even a third-round pick, a lot to give up for a guy that I don't know if it puts him over the hump. Maybe it does. Time will tell next year. I hope we're talking about it next year, but to me, they gave up too much, in my opinion. And like you said, to get to a Super Bowl like Goff did, you have to have some attributes to get to a Super Bowl, and the guy got him there. Should have won it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, Matt Stafford, it's like they're not going to have a draft pick for a long time. So he's really got to work out in LA. They got to get to a Super Bowl and fast. Otherwise, they're kind of shit out of luck there. All right. Moving on to the actual Super Bowl. So there's 2 Chief players, Kilgore and Robinson, that went to the barber this week. Barber tested positive for COVID, and now they are on the COVID restricted list. Are they playing on Sunday? Why did they get their haircut? I know everybody wants to look fresh and clean for the Super Bowl, but man, they got to be kicking themselves. How do you feel about this one, Troy?
Yeah, they're definitely kicking themselves. It'll be really interesting. I kind of feel like the league has been somewhat loose on these COVID protocols, much like they are with their concussion protocols. It kind of seems like a lot of these guys test and then they're rushing these guys back as quick as possible. So it'll be interesting to see if they test again tomorrow and all the way up until game day and get the okay to play. But stupidity, absolutely. I mean, especially the week before the game, pure ignorance. It will be interesting to see if they do sit out. I mean, you work this hard, even even if you're just a role player, you work this hard to get to a Super Bowl and you jeopardize it like that. Unbelievable to me.
Yeah, I mean, these are big guys too. It's not kind of, second and third string guys. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is already a team that's shorthanded. I mean, losing their offensive tackle, Eric Fisher. I mean, these are key losses if those guys can't play. So, you got to be smart. I mean, it's Super Bowl week. I know you want to, have a fresh cut up, for the game and everything like that. But God, you're wearing a helmet. I mean, I mean, I know you want to look good for media day and stuff like that. But you got to be careful in these kind of situations during these times. And that's coaching too. I mean, each individual coach has, is in charge of their players, and sometimes you gotta babysit these guys.
Yeah, the NBA bubble did it right. They had a barber on the premises,
so
everybody could remain fresh and clean, but also safe. We didn't actually talk about in the last one, so I'm going to bring it back a little bit. What does this trade of Jared and Matt, what do you think that does to Watson and his value? Obviously, a much better quarterback than these two. Troy, what could anybody do to get Watson at this point if that's what they're giving up for Stafford? Yeah,
it's crazy to me. I'll truly wonder. I mean, Watson being the younger quarterback, probably the better quarterback of the two. It's going to be amazing. We obviously, right before the show, we read a little bit that Derek Carr and the Raiders are maybe going to put out the farm for him, but it's going to take so many picks. And then, you've got the Houston Texans who are really going to stand their ground. They want him back in Houston. The new coach, Coley, wants him back in Houston. So it's going to be interesting, but boy, I'll tell you, if a guy with Stafford's age with 0 playoff wins demanded 2 first-round picks, it will be really interesting to see, if a team like Jacksonville gives up their pick, maybe the first round. It's going to blow my mind. I really think that there's the farm's going to have to be given up for a guy like Deshaun Watson, maybe 3 first-rounders and a good player. But it definitely drove his stock up without a doubt. You think Jacksonville would give up Trevor Lawrence for Watson? Potentially, likely not, but Urban Meyer, I think, really wants to get that ship turned around as quick as possible. He put together a great coaching staff. They've got some talent there. I wouldn't be surprised if he would want to get a proven guy in there and build around the proven commodity rather than take the risk with the number 1 pick. Just speculation. Mm-hmm. But I think that could be what it takes to get a Deshaun Watson. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, I think he's got the better talent. He's got the better upside. He's got a more, a team friendly contract. So, I mean, I think he's going to be worth all of that and more. I don't know. I tell you, what the Rams gave up for Stafford, I think is just it's unbelievable. I don't know if Watson will actually get that, because I don't know how many teams are actually willing to give it. I mean, the Rams just happen to just really want to give it away. They've been notorious for doing that kind of stuff. I mean, they threw all the money at Jalen Ramsey. I mean, they're notorious for hitting home runs in free agency and trades. I just don't know if a lot of teams are willing to mortgage their future for their quarterback. So I don't know if he'll necessarily get that. He's probably worth it, but I don't know if he'll actually land that much in a trade.
And what do we think if he doesn't get a trade? Do we think he sits or do we think he plays?
That's a tough one. I read that the agent said he would play, but boy, he seems pretty adamant that he's unhappy, even with the new coach coming in. That didn't seem to even change anything at all. The Texans seem to be doing everything they possibly can to keep him in there, but it seems like the damage has been done. So, boy, I wouldn't be surprised to see him hold out, through the off season and really just continue to push for that trade, because he's shown no interest in wanting to stick around.
Right.
Yeah. You agree, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
All right. So another star quarterback whose future is a little bit in limbo, Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Green Bay saying, hey, he's our guy. We want to keep him. We believe in him. There's some, rumbling certainly from his former teammates, TJ Lang, saying he is hell-bent on revenge against the Packers. Nick, what do you think? Is he hell-bent on revenge? Is he going to stay? Like, where do you see Aaron Rodgers next season?
Yeah, see, Aaron's so calculated. I don't think people really realize that about Aaron. He's so smart when it comes to what he says on the podium. I mean, I think I'm a firm believer of when he came out and made those comments right after that game, it was the perfect opportunity to say that, because it got nobody talking about how bad he played. And it didn't have to say he played that bad in the game, but nobody talked about the game.
Bad, yeah.
They're only talking about his future, So, I mean, they didn't have to talk about, the interceptions. You have to talk about the fact that they lost. They moved on from it. So I firmly believe that Aaron said that and it was calculated, and he's coming back. I don't see him leaving Green Bay. I mean, he has a good relationship, with the coaching staff there. I can't imagine wanting to leave Devontae Adams. I really think he's coming back. That's just where I sit. I mean, I think he just made a calculated comment after the game to kind of draw the attention away from them losing.
Yeah. I mean, if he did want revenge, the man hasn't talked to his family in quite a long time. So I think he can hold a grudge if he wants to.
I learned that on The Bachelor, actually.
Yeah.
Blame it on the brother and The Bachelor.
That's right.
Yeah.
How are you going to not talk to your mom for this many years? I mean, that is just
terrible.
Wild to me. Absolutely terrible. I love Aaron Rodgers, but that is a little mark against him, because you got to talk to your mom. Troy, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I'm disgusted by Aaron Rodgers. I mean, just the guy brings zero accountability after, in his post-game conference. I mean, he threw his coach under the bus, said he had nothing to do with the decision, which whether he did or didn't, you got to back your head coach. You just have to. I mean, you're the leader of the football team. If you have any respect for your head coach, you back him in that situation and say, hey, you know what? He made the right call. We just didn't execute. That's just what leaders do. And so for me, Aaron Rodgers, to me, I think he's coming back. There's no doubt. Nick brought up a lot of good points on why he's coming back. But I think that I truly believe that relationship between him and LaFleur is tarnished. I really do. If you're the head coach and your quarterback is sitting in a press conference questioning your calls at the end of the games, that's not good. It's just bad mojo for everybody. It's bad for the locker room. I think Rodgers does come back. Maybe they bounce back, have another great year. But I just thought there was zero accountability by that guy and zero leadership. I was very disappointed with how he handled it at the end of the year and how he's handled moving forward. He kind of throws out that he might retire. He doesn't know what the future holds. I would have expected him to take that podium and be like, you know what, I can't wait to get back on that field next year. It was Matt LaFleur is a great coach. He made the right call. We didn't win the game. Can't wait to fucking get out there next week. He didn't do that. To me, kind of pouted, kind of left it out in the air, what his future holds. I just didn't like it. I thought that was poor leadership all the way around.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you on that one. All right, moving on to the MLB. So the Players Union rejected moving the season. So last year's rule changes no longer in play. Troy, how do you feel about this? What does this mean for the season?
Yeah, I'm glad they're starting on time. I really am. I think a lot of the players, I think we're too close to pitchers and catchers reporting to bump it back again. I'm actually looking forward to going down to spring training, catching a little bit of part of that. But they couldn't. And I am disappointed they didn't keep the expanded playoffs. I thought they should have kept the expanded playoffs. I thought that was great for baseball last year. I thought that was a win for everybody. Even being out here in Seattle, not necessarily a diehard Mariners fan, but that's a good young team that, probably isn't going to win the division, but could sneak into the playoffs with the expanded playoffs. So kind of hurts their hopes. I just thought it was great for baseball last year with that shortened season to expand it. And I thought the rule changes were kind of fun last year. I know it kind of maybe tarnished a little bit of the integrity of the game, but I'm glad they're starting on time, but I am disappointed with some of the rule changes going away this year.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I think starting early or starting on time, rather, I mean, I think it gives you the leeway to win. I mean, we're going to have COVID issues. We're going to have, series that are going to get canceled because, you're going to have guys that are not going to be able to. I think it gives you the opportunity to make up those games in it by having a longer period to have these games in. So I think it's the right idea. I definitely think we're going to have stretches where, teams are going to get shut down and we're going to have to reshuffle things, especially now with, the mutant virus or whatever. I mean, I think we're still going to have this as an issue. So, I mean, I think it's a good idea to have the amount of time that you have now going from, middle of March to, early April, because you'll have plenty of time to make up these games. I'm going to miss the double headers. I'm going to miss the 7-inning double headers back to back. I thought that was brilliant. And I thought that really worked out well because you got 2 games in about 6 hours. And, they were able to make up these games. So I'll miss those the most. That's, I thought they might have maybe kept that, but, I guess not.
Yeah. All right. Well, Nick, I'm going to keep it with you because we're going to talk about college basketball, which is really your forte. So we've got Duke, UNC, Kentucky, MSU, all on the bubble of making the NCAA tournament. What happened to these traditional powers?
Well, I mean, really over the years, those schools have always relied on getting that star player. And, now it doesn't seem that that's how you're winning championships. You're winning through the transfer portal. When they changed everything with the transfer portal where you could play immediately the next year, these guys are now getting their 5th year and going to, maybe a not lesser school, but a different school in that, in that conference. And they're getting an opportunity to play right away. So they're getting, 22 to 23-year-old men that have experience playing over a team like Kentucky that's got 5 freshmen that just don't have the experience. And you're seeing that in those traditional powers because that's how they've been structured. That's how they've relied on building their team, and they're still doing it now. I think you're going to see that moving forward. If they don't get into the transfer portal and try to get some guys for their 5th year, they're going to continue to struggle, because if you look at the teams like Iowa, like Texas Tech that, has Mac McClung that's coming out. I mean, these are guys that they have, 5 seniors. They have 5 22-year-old men starting, and that plays when it comes into winning basketball games. So I think that's why you're seeing those teams that are relying on the one and dones struggling this year. And I think that'll continue if they don't adapt to the new rule changes.
Do you think that there's any of them that won't make the tournament? Is there one that you're actually worried about?
I don't think any of them will. To be honest with you, I think they're all going to miss it. They all have losing records right now. I don't see any of them righting the ship. I think it's going to be the best NIT field we've ever seen in the history of college basketball. I don't see any of them making it. Okay, you get Duke UNC. They're going to meet for this first time. Both teams unranked, first time since 1960. 60 years.
Wow. Well, that's going to make the March Madness brackets a lot more interesting this year, because you're not going to have your big top players. Troy, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I think it's actually great for college basketball, because there's always great parity in the tournament without a doubt, but we've seen these same powerhouses year after year after year. And I think it's good for basketball too, to have those great coaches, those great traditions in the tournament without a doubt. So it's going to be sad, but it does open the doors. This year we're going to, hopefully we see Gonzaga maybe win their first tournament. Teams like Baylor, if one of those two don't do it, I mean, you're going to have a pretty darn good Cinderella story winning this tournament. So